All right, ladies, welcome back to Tuesday Talks with Teena. This is our last and final talk for this series. There will be more in the future, and we'll keep you posted on that. If you're not familiar with Tuesday Talks, we are taking inventory of our health and fitness goals, and we're learning new skills and routines and being intentional with our fitness and self-care. So this week is our last week, week 26. We're talking about embracing your character traits. I am your host, Teena Cathay. I'm a business owner, certified personal trainer, and health coach. I'm currently serving in the Air National Guard, and I am a big advocate for women finding balance. All right, so our disclaimer, like I said, I am certified. However, that does not mean I'm a medical professional. So before you start any new fitness routine, I do advise that you consult with your primary care physician before you start anything new. And our funding disclaimer. So funding for this initiative is provided in part by Mission Ambition LLC and Teena Cathay Lifestyle and Fitness LLC. Also, we have many military women participating in this series thanks to Michigan Department of Health and Human Services through a Community Mental Health Association of Michigan. They are providing additional funding for this initiative through a federal community mental health block grant and a substance abuse prevention and treatment block grant supporting women better and strong. And a couple of guidelines. So please be respectful to others and yourself. No selling or soliciting, and then no judging of anyone, and yourself is included in that also. Okay, just a quick recap. So last week we talked about giving yourself grace. So we talked about ways to give yourself grace, and then also why you shouldn't feel selfish for taking the time that you need for yourself. One of you all mentioned that we tend to do that. It's just ingrained in us as women, running the household, bearing the children, raising the children, this, that, and the third. But it's okay to take that time that you need for yourself. And then especially with summer approaching, the weather's getting warmer, please advocate for yourself even more. Get out, get that sunlight, get some walks in, hang out with friends, and all that good stuff that comes along with the warmer months. And then we talked about how to make yourself proud every day without feeling guilt if you are not able to do as much as you wanted to do in regards to your fitness routine. All right, so lesson 1 for today, talking about identifying your unique character traits. Now, you might have heard of these kind of things when you're writing, or if you're a writer, storyteller, producing movies. They talk about a lot of these things because the characters that we see and love on our favorite TV shows, these are kind of things that they do. They develop character traits for characters. So you either love them or you hate them or you're indifferent, whether they're villains or they're vigilantes or someone, the good guy in the show or whatnot. So we're going to dive into that for ourselves today. It's going to feel very uncomfortable because looking inward is not always comfortable, but it's necessary and it's for a purpose. So how can you do that? How can you identify your unique character traits? Self-reflection is one of them. So you're going to reflect on your feelings, your own personal values, and your emotions and your actions. Because a lot of times when we start to look at our circle, like our close-knit circle, sometimes we can start to pull from other people's values and actions and whatnot, not on purpose. It's just, you heard that saying, birds of a feather flock together. And you might not necessarily, you might lose a little bit of yourself. So that self-reflection can help, like, what are my values? What are my actual character traits? And you'll see the chart here too. If you want to screenshot that, and I got this off of Indeed. This is a good thing to kind of look at and say, oh, do I have these, or are these some traits that I want to start highlighting? Because let's be honest, sometimes as women, we can dim our own light around other people. So let's not do that anymore if we are doing that. Seeking feedback. So again, that's where those accountability partners come into play, asking family members or friends or colleagues about insights that they may see in us that we don't see. Or again, that we're not really trying to show off. They can provide more insight on that to see how you're operating in various aspects and situations of your life. And then, of course, there's journaling, writing down if you go through a situation, how you felt during that situation, what actions did you take, or were you actually reactive in a certain situation? That's another way to figure out what kind of character traits that you have and see if you want to keep those traits or if you want to highlight certain traits or if you want to kind of diminish certain traits about yourself. Excuse me. And then taking note, again, piggybacking off of that journaling, taking note of your strengths and weaknesses. We all have them. It's not a bad thing to have the weaknesses. Sometimes we use that as a crutch to not excel at something or do something that's making us uncomfortable. So if there's a fitness goal that you have, you might think like, oh, well, I wasn't good at running before, or I injured myself in the past, and that's not a strong suit of mine. Making that conscious decision to say, you know what, I'm just going to leave that on the back burner and not worry about it, or maybe try again. Does anyone have any comments about the unique character traits and how that can help you develop in your fitness, health, and wellness and whatnot?
Yeah, I think they kind of morph too as you age, because
Yeah.
you find and realize how some of your character traits affect other people. Just sometimes your mere presence walking into a room can either highlight or kind of scare some people. I'm pretty little, so I never thought that I was very intimidating until I took this. It was called Next for Vets, and it was a leadership program. And I never really thought about how I affected other people and the way that I walked or talked or, any of my characters. And I'm like, I'm kind of strong, in my opinion, and I never thought that I was. So it was an eye opening. So I'm really excited about this lesson to see how it compares to what I learned the last time I did this.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, to take anything that someone says or views you from the outside. I don't think it's a negative thing unless they're coming at you like with malicious intent or whatnot. But it's kind of like enlightening, right? To see like, oh, I didn't realize that I was very boisterous or I was bold or strong, which is a good thing because sometimes we can think that our voices are null and void sometimes and no one isn't listening, but they hear us loud and clear. So that's a good thing that you discovered that and someone highlighted that as well. Oh my gosh. So with that being said, what we're going to do is you're going to list your unique character traits. This is going to be a little bit hard probably, but take the time to kind of think about certain traits that you have. And if you can't think of an actual word, maybe write down an instance or a sentence or a situation of something that how you handled it. Maybe think about also your emotions in certain situations, if that helps, versus just thinking of a word. And then we're going to come back and share our list with the group.
Can you put that screen back up? Yeah, there we go. Thank you. I was almost done writing them all down and then I'm like,
Oh no, you're fine. It would be cool too if in the future you guys made a little wheel like this for yourself and put it on your vision boards. not necessarily saying that it's something that you want to aspire to be, but just remind yourself of just how awesome you are and why you're capable of achieving those goals that you have on your vision board. And then if you're ready to journal, the journal prompt is list your unique character traits. Is everyone all set on this page? All right, is anyone ready to share their unique character traits?
Okay, I'll go. I'm going to go off what my cardiologist said the last time I seen her last Thursday. Woo woo. She said I was positive, always seem positive, bubbly, and I'm straightforward. That's what she said.
I like that combination, bubbly and straightforward. Awesome, thank you.
Christina, I can't believe I haven't seen your face during this whole thing. Like, really, you're so beautiful. Oh my gosh. I don't know why you didn't show your face, girl.
Thank you.
I agree there, Sue. She should have been showing that lovely face.
Thank you.
I think you had phone trouble. You weren't trying the phone sometimes too? And
no, I've always been on my laptop. I don't know why. But anyway, Laura, I watched a commercial a couple days ago. They have a pickleball sub.
Pickleball what?
A pickleball submarine sub.
Submarine?
Yes. At Subway, yes, called pickleball.
Oh, I hope you're not full of pickles.
I don't know.
And it better have sweet ones
to
too.
tell Laura.
Now you're right. She's seeing it everywhere now, literally.
It is more than you ever realize, you know?
Oh, goodness.
You want to go next, Laura, or you want me to go next?
Oh, I can go. I just like, yeah, I will. I find myself to be funny. People laugh at me or with me, not at me, but with me. But I always have to ask, are you laughing with or out? You know, with or at me? I feel I'm loyal. It's too much to my work when I stayed with the same employer years. I mean, I was good at what I liked there, you know, good. And I liked what I was doing, but I was afraid to go anywhere else. So that's not a good thing to be that loyal that you don't want to go someplace else and explore elsewhere, but I explored in other areas. So I am curious about things. I'm flexible. I'm able to switch gears and plans where some people, no, I got to do this and that's it. And that's it. It's like, no, it's like something else came up. I'm going. Okay. So, creative. Um, I can be persistent. Some people, will you just quit asking? It's like, whatever. I just want to know. I'm honest, honorable. I said patient, I think. I don't know. Creative. That's about it that I can come up with. I mean, there's instances for all of them, but I'm certainly not. There's some compassionate, and I am compassionate. I'm disciplined at a point. So I don't know. We got such a variety in there. So those are the ones that I know of and think of. So I'm done. All yours, Sue.
Woohoo. Well, I put caregiver is the trait that I've kind of honed throughout the years. I have a brother that was born with Down syndrome. So I always felt like I needed to protect him, and kind of be at his side. And actually, he kind of protected me more than I protected him because he was a year and a half older than me. But, anyways, and then just in general, teaching special ed for over 35 years kind of was like, I absolutely loved what I did. And as I looked at the list of other traits, I can feel them all within my being. Like I think I could be all of the above on any given day. But I chose to pick out one of my kind of traits that have challenged me through the years is being my competitiveness. I said has been a strong trait, especially with other women. So that I've really had to like kind of figure out, and I don't know if it's because my younger sister, I didn't really compete with my younger sister, but I've always like kind of been athletic and like to compete athletically. But then when I was in the business world, I saw a whole evil side of myself that I didn't even know was under there. And it started bubbling to the surface. And I'm like, who are you? Like, where did you come from? So I think it was in the facing of some of those things some of those traits that I didn't like about myself. Like all of these are positive that you had listed in that little wheel, was where I really grew the most when I faced those things because I became more in tune to how I was affecting other people and their responses. Where before I'd just come in like a truck, and kind of like just da, 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 on this and yeah, da, 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 da. And so anyways, thank you for listening, ladies.
No problem, Sue. Thank you for sharing and being vulnerable. Thank you, Laura. You had a great list as well. Don't scratch out that list either. Keep those in your journals. All right, so lesson 2, identifying your unique character. So I don't know if you guys heard of the Big Five. So this is something from the field of psychology. So it's called the Big Five, and it's a model that classifies personality traits. Now, this doesn't mean it's black and white, you're either this or you're that, not at all. This is just something that you can see, oh, maybe I'm a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And everyone I would think, has a little bit of everything in these character traits. So I'm going to read off some of the bullet points for these traits. So these all factor into people's personalities. So the first one is openness to experience. So this person is highly open. They have a wide range of interests and they're willing to be creative. They're open to trying new things. They're a little bit more adventurous than everyone else. If you're high in openness. Now, if you're low in openness, then you dislike change. You don't like trying anything new or abstract concepts. So if it's abstract, you're like, no, I need it to be straightforward and narrow, and you're not open to that kind of thing. And again, this could be situational as well. Again, like some of you said, some of your traits are situational, which is okay. And then the second one we have is conscientiousness. So people who are high in conscientiousness, they are generally fairly thoughtful. They're task focused, so they need to check off that list. They're orderly in their goals and pursuits, and they like to plan ahead and think about the way things are going to be done and executed, and how they're going to interact with getting set things done. Now, if this person is low in conscientiousness, they don't like that. They don't want no structure. They don't want no routine. They like to do whatever it is that they want to do, whenever they want to do it, however they want to do it. And because of that, they struggle with getting things done in a timely manner. I will say, I used to be that person that was low in conscientiousness, not organized. I'm gonna do whatever, whenever I want to, whatever. I don't care about the deadlines. So definitely did flip on that for me. And you don't get things done in timely manner, and it causes stress. So extroversion is the next one. So if you're high in this area, you tend to be assertive, sociable, talkative. You like to express your emotions, and then you thrive in social situations. You like to be out in public, or even like around family, large group gatherings. This is how you gain your energy if you're this person. Now, if you're low in being an extrovert, you tend to find social situations draining. It's not something that you look forward to doing, even though you still might do it, but it's not like uplifting for you. And then you dislike being at the center of attention. Then we have agreeableness. Now, if you're high in this one, you're going to be very cooperative, a polite person, the peacekeeper rather than the conflictor. You don't like to create conflict. And if you're low in agreeableness, you tend to take interest in other people and their needs. And then our last one here, neuroticism.
Can you,
so this person,
wait 1 minute, can you do the agreeableness again? The yes, the high, and yes, the no for both of them? Can you do them though?
agreeableness.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're high for this one, you're cooperative and polite.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're a peacekeeper and you try to avoid conflict. But if you're low in agreeableness, the opposite of peace is you are okay with having that conflict. You're going against what someone else is saying. And then you take little interest in what other people need.
Okay. Thank you. I
Yep,
thought I was
you're
hearing it totally different.
You're not always agreeable, Laura. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Me? But I have interest in what other people think. So I do have interest.
Right. See, she's in the middle. And then the last one, neuroticism. And so this person thinks the world is depressing and unsafe. They don't want to rock the boat. So they're prone to experiencing negative emotions like anxiety, depression, and irritation. And they tend to get upset fairly easily and experience significant highs and lows in their moods. I'm sure we probably are all familiar with someone like this. Right? As soon as I said that, you probably had one person just instantly popped in your head. Now, if you're low in neuroticism, you deal with stress fairly well. You're generally relaxed, go with the flow, and you're classified as emotionally stable. So kudos if you fall in that category. You are an emotionally stable human being. Did anyone have any questions? Laura's like, ah. Any questions about that breakdown?
I'm just laughing. I agree with just about everything you said. I'm just waiting for like other people to kind of tell me what their take is on my neuroticism or lack thereof and all that stuff. So give it back to me, Laura. You probably know me the best out of this group. So,
but again, this is situational too. So it depends on the situation. So it's not, me personally, I'm not a black and white person. I see the in between as well, because
There's a lot of gray in the world, folks.
Exactly. It is. It really is. So if you are a little neurotic, Sue, then it's okay. Just as long as you're not that all the time. All right. So with that being said, this kind of goes into your question, Sue. Do others notice the above traits, or do you try to hide them? So the traits that we talked about, do other people see those traits in you? Or do you know that you have certain traits and you try to hide them from people? We're going to take a few minutes to jot that down. All right. Who would like to share?
All right, I'll go first since I went last time. No big deal. I put down, I've recently wondered how others see me, and it seems to make me wonder the more I get to know myself. My husband can be honest, and I so appreciate that at times, but wish others were more honest if and when I say things or do things that hurt them. So I'm that person that like kind of like wants to be liked all the time, and it's like almost to the ridiculous point. And I'll say and do things that aren't necessarily of my character, but yet I expect other people to not be like that. So I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
No, it makes sense. It does make sense. Is that something that you're wanting to change, or is that?
Yeah. Because I'm aware of it. Yeah. So I mean, that's why I journal every day, because it draws out the truth in me instead of the facade. like I can't keep that facade up. And like somebody wanted to honor me at a veteran event, and they're like, send me a bio, I want to nominate you to be honored. And I thought to myself, well, if you want to honor me and you don't know me, then why do you want to honor me, and why do I need to write the bio? And my son's like, well, Mom, you just need to update your bio. It's no big deal. People do that. I go, I know. I've done that for years. I've written my bio, rewritten it. And I'm like, if they want to honor me, they should have all these bullet points that they want to honor me for because they know me. And I know that's a bad attitude. I should have been like, oh my gosh, you want to honor me? Yeah, sure. I'd love to write about myself. So anyways.
I would suggest maybe starting with why you have that character trait, or why it is that you desire to be liked and have to put on a facade. If you start there and then kind of ask yourself those questions and then really dig into the truth, like just be 100% honest with yourself of why. But that's good that you are recognizing that, and that's something that you're wanting to change. Thanks for sharing, Sue. Anyone else have anything? If you don't, no worries.
I guess I'll go.
Okay.
Agreeableness and consciousness. Yes, I'm always the peacekeeper. I try to keep the peace. Yeah, and a lot. And I used to be like Susan, self-reflecting when everybody asked for a bio. I had to write a bio for the startup, and I'm like, what am I supposed to say? I don't want to write a bio. Can somebody else write the bio? But I did it. Sometimes self-reflection is very hard sometimes, because you get to see what other people have seen in you as you're writing stuff about you. That's how I see it.
It actually, now that I think about it, when I did write a bio, Christina, it did empower me, because then I was like, wow, I'm writing down all my accomplishments, like accomplishments. Like, oh my gosh, way to go, girl. You know what I mean?
Thank you for sharing, Christina. Laura, did you want to share? If not, we go into our final lesson. It's okay if you don't want to share. Okay. Perfect. So the last thing, we're going to make that connection. So there's a reason why I'm having you get a little bit uncomfortable and vulnerable with yourselves, and to see how that can actually help you to excel in your fitness. Because a lot of times what happens is there's like the societal standards of how you're supposed to get fit, what time you're supposed to do it, when, how long, blah, 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 blah. But again, everything is in black and white. Everybody's different. Everyone is unique. Everyone doesn't like running. Some people will prefer to ride the bike, and that's absolutely okay. So you can match your fitness thing with your personality. So if you want to do cardio and you don't want to run, you can dance. If you're someone who is more apt to dancing, that could be your cardio. So that's why I wanted you guys to kind of dig into actually who you are, get in touch with yourself and what you like, what you dislike, dive into those emotions, those feelings and things like that. So in that way you can tailor your lifestyle with how you want to tailor it to what feels good to you and for your body, and especially where you are now. Because again, one of you said, I think Sue said, like, seasons change, you change. You're not going to like the same thing you did 5 years ago now, which is good. And it's okay. So your personality might affect your fitness behaviors. So knowing where you are will help you to operate and to move forward into having more progress instead of doing what someone else is saying that you should do and knowing that you don't think it's the best for you. And then if you do not find that you're able to figure that out, maybe seeking assistance from a coach or a trainer or someone that can help pull that out of you. Because again, Christina just said, diving deeper into yourself is not is not the most comfortable thing. So you might need someone else to help pull that out of you. And then studies have shown that with these 3 personality traits, conscientious, extroversion, neuroticism, you are more likely to stick with your fitness routine despite adversity. So again, that's why I was saying, if you do have a little bit of everything, it's not a bad thing, because some of these pair well with each other for you to get to your goals. So if you have a little neuroticism, you're not worried about other people, you're more likely to say no, like, hey, you know what, this is my time, I'm setting these boundaries, versus being the agreeable one saying, hey, I want you to go do this with me at 12 o'clock, even though you know you had yourself scheduled for your fitness class at 12 o'clock. So if you're agreeable, you're saying, oh, okay, I'll push up my thing back and go with you to do your thing, which is not helpful to you. All right. And so let's go into how openness can help enhance your experience with fitness and your lifestyle. So if you're someone who is open, you're probably more likely someone who wants to do group fitness classes because you're okay with being around other people. It actually is more fun that way too. You get that encouragement, that camaraderie. And then you like to switch up your fitness routine. So you can choose various classes. It does not have to be the same class. And I would suggest switching it up every 4 weeks. And then again, try something exotic and outside the box. So like Laura's introduced all of us to pickleball. So I'm actually going to try that. So I encourage everyone else to try it. If you're open to doing something like that, if that's part of your personality. And then conscientiousness. So this one, if you're high or low or in the middle, whatever the case is, you need a little bit more structure. Again, that's where those set class times come in. Like every day, 9 a.m., this class is here. I know where the location is. I don't have to think about it. I just have to get to that set location and I get my workout in. Easy peasy. No hassle about that. So then set those class days and times if you know that you're someone who is more in that conscientious high level. And then extroversion. You're someone who, again, you like taking those large classes to be around other people to help keep you motivated because you thrive off of being social. So if you know that you're someone who thrives off of being social and you have been doing home workouts and wondering why you have not been able to see progress, it's because that's not your environment and where you thrive. You thrive somewhere where you're in a group setting with other people to laugh, joke, smile with. So put more of an effort to put yourself in those kinds of situations. So then that way you help yourself by plugging yourself in a situation that you enjoy. Even events, there's also a lot of one-off events, especially in the summertime, that's in a group setting.
Hey, if you guys have never,
You might be more comfortable. What was that?
oh, sorry. I just wanted to say, if you guys have never done a drumming class, oh my gosh, we had so much fun at the Women Veteran Conference. And I've done it before at the senior center, just with a large ball and a pair of drumsticks. It was so fun. And you really work up a sweat. It's a really good cardio and it's not hard. Like you can just go at your pace.
Right. Thank you for sharing that. Yep. And it's low maintenance because you don't have to have so much coordination. You're just hitting and it's very, lethargic too, because you're beating the drum, getting all that aggression out with the drumsticks. Yeah.
Yeah. Very rhythmic.
Nice. Thank you for sharing that, Laura. And excuse me, Sue. Agreeableness. So you might be more comfortable in one-on-one setting versus a group setting. So if you know you're not someone that wants to be around a large group and that's not where you thrive, then maybe, okay, you can do it at home by yourself, get a coach to do it with you, where it's you just that one person, you're getting that attention that you need. That's probably more comfortable for you. or maybe a really small group, probably no more than like 5 people, because there are smaller classes that people tend to host as well. And then the last one, neuroticism. This one, you're probably like, I don't feel like being bothered with humans. I just want to be in my own little bubble, which is absolutely fine. You can do online training, turn YouTube on, or there's people who host stuff online all the time. You can do chair, you can do yoga, there's kickboxing and things like that. So there's a huge variety of different things that you can do all at home if you're the type of person that does not want to deal with people. And again, all of this is situational. There's sometimes where you probably want to be in a large group, and then sometimes where you just don't want to be bothered. And again, that is absolutely fine. Just do what works best for you and wherever you're at in that season. Did anyone have any questions about that?
Yeah, you kind of redefined neuroticism to me. I always looked at that word as sexual. I never really thought about it as the character trait. And I always looked at it negatively.
So that's a great point. So I like to tell this because, I have the young one coming up and she asks me definitions of words all the time. So I like to joke and tell her, did you know in our English language, there's 5 definitions for one word?
Right.
Because there really is. So yes, this neuroticism that we're talking about, it does sound negative, but it's actually not. That's why I say it's someone who thinks the world is depressing and unsafe. And that can just be due to just their personality trait or due to trauma.
I understand. And I think of it more as like extremism, like where they're like on a scale from 1 to 10 or whatever. If you took 20 people and, you had one person in the group that was like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That they were kind of excessive to one degree. Not that it's bad. It's like you said, it's, depends on what your trauma has been. I mean, with any of these,
And
the
person who is more so high in that area, they do tend to be more short-tempered and whatnot. Again, it could be due to trauma, or they just haven't learned how to simmer down that stress or whatever it is that they're feeling, or they're not good at expressing their emotions. So it does come out like very aggressive.
Okay.
And I've known people like this, and it takes some finessing and some massaging, like, okay, you know what, you're fine. This is not that serious. I understand why you're feeling this way. Maybe let's try a different way to express these emotions. Or if you're not able to verbally express your feelings or emotions, write them down, see a therapist, something like that. But yeah, I agree. It definitely has a high negative connotation to that word, be it someone who's angry or in a sexual manner. But it can be flipped and reversed, and that person can change and alter that high strongness and aggressiveness.
Yeah, I just spoke with a high school friend of mine yesterday because her birthday is today, and she started talking about spaceships and these different things that she looks into and stuff, and she's always kind of been very aggressive, like you said, but she was also in the military. She was married, her and her husband joined the military. They were both from my high school, and I just I wonder if she's getting the mental health help that she has. And I've had to stay away from her at different times, but God sent a message to me through a Christian song. And it just said that everybody's a child of God and everybody needs to be loved, regardless of what their character traits are and regardless of what their experiences have been or how they've affected them. And so it's given me a whole new way to look at the world and look at people that, suffer from the negative effects of their trauma and stuff like that. And I try to get her to come to that things, and she won't. And I just listen. I try to be a good listener and I don't try to say she's crazy. In fact, she says she's crazy all the time. So I'm just grateful she has a husband that helps take care of her and she's like estranged from her grandchildren, and because she says and does things that are just extreme, you know.
And that's probably her way of expressing. That's probably the only way she knows how. And it you know, we all have that self-expression. It could be positive, it could be negative, and some people choose to express themselves in a very aggressive and negative way. So, but yeah, thankful for her husband being there to help support her.
Amen.
So let's go into our last journal prompt. Oh my gosh, the last journal prompt.
I'm
Are
giving
you
you a hug right now.
I'm
We're gonna miss you too.
gonna miss all of you. Are you comfortable with your character traits? Or do you want to change them and why? So again, let's dig deep within ourselves and just be honest with yourself, and we'll come back and share. All right. So let's go into our last and final journal prompts. Who would like to answer first?
I'll go first. I'm comfortable with all my character traits and I wouldn't change them for anything.
Period.
Yes.
Perfect. I like that. Thank you, Christina. Who would like to go next?
Okay. I'm actually
I will. Christina, I'm like you. I'm comfortable with me. It makes me me, you know? There's always something that you don't like and you want to change. There can be always my being told I'm bossy, which is really assertiveness or confidence in what I think should be done, and trying to redo how those things are said as opposed to being pushy or bossy. but I'm really, I love myself, so I'm comfortable with myself. So it's not that I don't love others, but I like myself too. So that's it. That's me.
Good for you, Lord. Both of you, great answers. Thank you for sharing. And Sue, did you have something that you wanted to share?
Always. I just put down, I'm actually just learning how to love and be comfortable with who I am. The more opportunities I have to express what I'm feeling in my journal or in a safe group setting, allows me to feel stronger and feel better about who I am and who I'm becoming. So I think that's enough. Thank you.
That's great. That's good, Sue, that you're growing into that. And again, it's an up and down battle too, but the fact that you're either comfortable with yourselves or you're seeing something that you might want to alter, enhance, or lower, that's personal development right there. So you guys should feel so proud of yourselves.
Hugs, Sue, hugs.
Hugs.
Okay.
No pity here.
Oh no, just hugs.
Ain't nobody gonna steal my joy anymore, that's for sure.
And good for you not letting them. Not even yourself, because we can be our own hindrance too sometimes.
Amen to that. I'm my biggest problem.
So I want to leave you guys with the word of the week, which is brave. It is ready to face and endure danger or pain, showing courage. And throughout the fitness process, we all know that is not without pain, because something's going to burn, you're going to be sore the next day. And then doing that self-reflection does not feel good either, but continue to do so and just be brave as you go forth throughout your week. And then I do challenge you to continue to practice a healthy form of self-care. If you want to add to that, add to it. If you want to continue doing what you're doing, do that. And then the videos are going to be on YouTube. Slowed down a lot, so I'm just going to be editing posts of them. So if you have not subscribed, you can subscribe to that, and they will be on the YouTube channel. You can scan that QR code and it'll take you directly to the YouTube channel, or my name is there as well.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you so much, Teena. I wanted to tell everybody too, I went to the doctor last week and I was down 7 pounds and I didn't even know it. Woohoo! I love it.
Congratulations.
I love it when it happens, when you're like, oh, really?
Yeah.
That was a good surprise.
Very good.